Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing part 2 of facts about the Titanic. So, I left off at number 25. Right now, I'm going to start off by number 26. Number 26. In Southampton, the Titanic almost collided with the SS New York. So, this is the SS New York. This is a boat that almost collided with the Titanic. Number 27. A survivor called Ava Hart said that her mom knew that something very bad would happen to the RMS Titanic, so she stayed awake at night and slept during the day. Number 28. 20 people said that they had to cancel their plans on board the Titanic because they had dreams and thoughts that it could probably sink. Number 30. Around 49% of places on the lifeboats were unused. So, a lot of people could have possibly used every lifeboat. This is what the lifeboats looked like. Although most of the time they would look full, they were not. They were half full. They looked full, but although right here it does look full, there are a lot of areas where people could have fit in. And since it was nighttime, not a lot of people could see a lot of things. So that is one reason that could have possibly caused every lifeboat to be half filled and to leave half full. Number 30. Wait, 30. Oh, number. Wait. Yeah, number 31. Captain Smith ordered that lifeboats should come back to the Titanic to fill them all up once he realized that every single lifeboat was half full or less full. And none of the lifeboats wanted to return because they all feared that the Titanic and the passengers would sink the lifeboats. Number 32. Researchers found 340 bodies and about 1,160 bodies are still lost at sea, but there's a chance we might never find them due to fish eating the bodies and all the bacteria. Since bacteria is already eating away plankton, bacteria, almost anything is eating away the Titanic, which could be gone in a few years. Number 33. White Star Line and Cunard Line, this is the White Star Line, which made ships such as Titanic, Britannic, Olympic, Oceanic, and this is the Cunard Line, which made ships such as the Lusitania and Mauretania. And during the Great Depression, both of them were dealing with so much financial issues that they both agreed with the British government for a loan to collide and make the Cunard White Star Line, which is both of them combined it into one. Number 34. The Carpathia picked up 13 out of the 20 lifeboats at sea that were from the Titanic and gave them to the White Star Line. The Carpathia could not hold any more space for any other lifeboats. Number 35. Captain Smith canceled the lifeboat drill the exact day. Well, before the night that the RMS Titanic struck with the iceberg. Number 36. The lookouts and some passengers who were survivors said that they could smell the iceberg miles away and minutes before they struck it, which the iceberg does. Icebergs do have smell. Icebergs have a lot of smell, and you can smell them from miles away due to all the minerals that they carry. Number 37. Before the Titanic hit the iceberg, the Titanic got around a total of 6 iceberg warnings, one of them being from the steamship Californian, which I talked about in the last one, which is said to have been 10 to 20 miles away from the Titanic. Number 38. There was approximately about 13 couples who were on their honeymoon on board the RMS Titanic during its voyage. They thought that the Titanic would be a great area and place to go, not just to America, but to hold their honeymoons. So they got tickets for the voyage. Number 39. About 20 horses. It took about 20 horses to carry the Titanic's main anchor to where it should have been. They were carrying the main anchor to the build of the Titanic so they could place it. And this is what the main anchor was. It's that big, huge anchor next to the RMS Titanic, which is right here. There was about 2 of those, and to carry one of them, it took about 20 horses. Number 40. 9 people sailed as members of the Harland and Wolff shipyard, which is the shipyard in which the RMS Titanic was built. They were mainly there to make sure that the ship ran smoothly and to make sure that there were no problems with the ship, because if there were problems, they would have to repair them as soon as possible. Number 41. The oldest person on board the RMS Titanic was Johann Savasson, who was just 74 years old. He sadly did not survive. Number 42. There is currently a plaque at the Titanic wreckage honoring all of the souls on the Titanic that perished that night. Number 43. It was a rainy and cold day of April 16, 1912, when the RMS Carpathia grabbed the survivors and reached New York. Number 44. The Carpathia managed to pass 6 icebergs on its way to the Titanic wreckage to try and save all the passengers. They couldn't have gone full speed since there were so many icebergs in the way. They didn't want to sink either, so they were going slowly, but they were trying to get there as soon as possible, and they reached there at 4 a.m. Number 45. 8 band members were on the RMS Titanic, and none of them survived to tell their stories and everything that happened that night. All 8 of them wanted to play All eight of the band members wanted to play until the very end, even if it meant that they wouldn't survive. They wanted to make sure that people were calm. They wanted to make music, soothing music that people would love to calm them down, and so they wouldn't have to try to get away from a lifeboat because women wanted to be with their husbands and didn't want to get on the lifeboats. Number 46. Kevin Smith was already failed, was already failing to evacuate passengers in his past because they had given him a test and he was already failing to evacuate thousands of passengers in his past, although he still was able to sail on the Titanic. Number 47. Survivors say that when the funnels of the Titanic fell and collapsed, that they were on fire before they actually fell into the water. Number 48. The Titanic was the most luxurious ship when it was built because they were competing against the Royal Mail ship Lusitania, which was made by none other than the Cunard Line. The Cunard Line and the White Star Line were rivals. Both of them were competing for so long, trying to get the most luxurious and biggest ships at the time. Number 49. 7 passengers demarked from Ireland. So this was the RMS Titanic's voyage and sinking. This shows everything. Around here was the collision of iceberg. Around here is where they sank. The wreck location, these are the coordinates. And this is how it happened. This is everything that they were doing. It didn't go straight from Southampton to New York like many people think. Although it was from Southampton to New York, they made multiple stops. They went from here to right there to right there. They were trying to get these all. It was from Southampton to these. Then they were trying to get to New York City and they sink right here. But 7 people left the Titanic in Ireland, from Southampton to Ireland. Number 50, the last one for part 2. 1,385 bags of mail was delivered on board during the stop at Queenstown. So they did Southampton to United Kingdom, Liverpool. They did all this. This is where they wanted to go last. But Queenstown is right here, and that's where they got 1,385 bags, full bags of mail. This is just a few pieces of mail that would have been on the ship. The first 4 compartments of the Titanic were mail rooms. The 5th compartment and the 6th compartment were not also mail rooms. Both 5th and 6th compartments were boiler rooms. And 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st compartments were the ones that got struck by the iceberg. But it is also said that the 6th compartment got a few inches of damage to it, and after a while from those little few inches, it straight up just filled up the 6 compartment boiler room and it started flooding the Titanic. Although the Titanic could only carry 4 compartments. But anyway, I think that's gonna be it about the Titanic part 2. And I'll make part 3 as soon as possible. Although I still do need a bit more time. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye. I hope you guys have a nice day or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. Please subscribe and like. Goodbye.